Look, man. Mayor. I mean,
I'm a great guy in the city.
Great guy in the city?
I'm not great guy in the area.
In the area?
In the area, I'm a great guy. Able to be a part of a lot of other great people's legacy.
Right.
So I would go there. Mayor, stuff like that, I wouldn't say.
Let me do a little something right here. This episode of Hip Hop Study Hall is special because a lot of times when we come to these places, right, I know we take you places and you guys are looking for like, oh, what's the title? What's the major company? Right here, right now, we're going to get the gist of like how a lot of these things start before the companies even notice. And then doing business. Right. John Costen.
No, we here.
My
we
man,
here,
appreciate you having me here. Oakland. San Francisco. The West Coast. Your name is ringing like all over that.
Well, it's because, you know, we put in a lot of work for a lot of many moons.
Right.
Many moons, you know. I was one of the ones that was fortunate. And, you know, I tell a lot of the younger generation this because everybody asks, like, how I got in here and stuff like that. And my whole situation is I work for free. And I know that's so crazy for anybody 25 and under to think, like, you actually gotta, like, work for free. Like, before I was 21 years old, I was carrying crates for Big Von, Scotty Fox, DJ Mind Motion, like, some of the hottest DJs out here.
Right.
Like I was just blessed that they knew my name. You know, I was a speck on the radar, you know. I came up, I learned how to DJ and stuff. I was DJing these hood ass parties and probably nobody wanted to DJ because definitely something might happen to you
right.
in the space, you know. It's well documented. They were called Black Saturdays. And I liked them because it was a space where you could actually break records. Like all the local records I was listening to, you know, that weren't getting played on the radio and stuff, we would actually break those records out. And the main DJ there was a guy named Rob Reyes, and I came up under Rob, and Rob just put me on. He just saw a young kid that wanted to work, so I literally just worked for free. I literally, like, you know, he had the Electra Records account. House could tell you back then in the street team days.
Right.
He had the Electra Records account, so my first day working for him, I'm hanging around Nate Dogg. And this is coming from a guy from Richmond, California. Richmond, we ain't got no superstars. We ain't got a lot out there. So to actually be around Nate Dogg, I was super juiced off that. I thought, man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's what I did. I just taught out how to do it, how to make money, and how to keep it going, you know?
Right.
And still today, it's like street teams don't really exist anymore, but it's just led into different avenues. Like, you know, now one of my biggest clients is 300 ENT.
Now stop right there. And here's the reason I'm stopping you. Because a lot of times when I start these interviews, right, I could almost let you go and we could get a history lesson right here. But I like to get to a certain point because now I think is where I back you up a little bit, right? And if you don't know who Nate Dogg is, Google that, right? But first, let's
people are not gonna know who Nate Dogg is. Oh my goodness! You just broke my heart right now.
Right, but we have to also too, and this is very much why this platform means so much to me, because I feel like, and you being a student of this game as you are, and what I know about you, we're almost learning just as much from them as they're learning from us. So I think that them, if they Google that history, it'll tie up some of the things that they probably got questions about with this culture, right? So one of the things I want to even talk to you about before we get to what you do now, how much you've done and all that stuff. Let's talk about the process of how it was back then and when you started, right? And breaking a record. Like, what was the process of getting a record out then as opposed to, because you know now, I got this. I could come in here with you, make a record, or we could probably, because you know what's going on, make a record probably at one of our cribs, push it here, push a couple of more buttons, and we out to the world. But it ain't start like that, right?
It ain't start like that. It did not start.
So if we could do this first, let's get a quick lesson in the Nate Dogg story, where you began at, what it was like, or how the process went to break a record? Because I don't think a lot of them know it was way different.
I mean, and I'm gonna tell you guys this story because it's a good story to know the work that had to get put in to actually break a record. But just be thankful that you guys don't have to go through it now. Be thankful. Like you back in the day, you would literally have to, like, if you had a single that you actually wanted to push. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't have nothing like that. We had MySpace, and you start getting some plays on MySpace, then a label might reach out to you.
Right, hold up. Let me tie this piece up too. Don't forget, we also had these records and CDs and cassettes and stuff like that. And if you don't know what they are, you can Google them, or a place that I find myself in often, like Urban Outfitters sell them. You know, people collecting them now. If I can get a piece of vinyl and that sort of thing.
First of all, vinyl used to cost so much money back in the day because it wasn't just like printing up CDs. And at this time, all DJs didn't work off Serato back then. They worked off actual vinyl.
Yes.
We worked off actual vinyl. So you had to get a plate made. Then they could start printing up your vinyl. And I think minimum order was probably like 500. So you're literally paying out the pocket, maybe like probably about, I'm not gonna say $5,000. To get the plate made, I think was $1,000. And then to get the records made, they were like $1.50 a piece. So depending on how many you bought, you know, that was the scale. But you actually had to do that, go to clubs, give the DJs your records, go to record pools, give them your vinyl, hoping your stuff takes off. There's no guarantee.
Wait a minute, just because you gave it to me, that didn't mean I was gonna play it either, right?
That doesn't mean you were gonna play
That's
it.
another part of the story.
But you know, the good thing about that is they didn't have, like, you couldn't just press a button and shoot somebody an MP3. You know? So it was only a selective amount of people that people could play. You know?
Right.
Like, let me tell y'all something crazy, right? Let me tell you something crazy that might get me beat up one of these days. Right?
Right.
I used to actually make compilations. I used to press them up. I would press them up, and I would put an 8-bar intro because I've seen people like Scotty Fox and these other record companies. I've seen them do this, right? I put an 8-bar intro that was good for the DJ because if the DJ had an 8-bar intro, he didn't need the instrumental.
Right.
And I would put 3 songs on each side of the vinyl, and I would secretly white label them and take them. I would take the hottest songs like in the area on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I would put those on the records, and I had stores. I don't know how many stores I had. I probably had like 70 record stores that would service these records to on the low. They just white. It's just white. The sleeve is white. Right. Everything on the record is white. The only thing that's black is the actual piece of vinyl. And I would take them, I would load them up in my white Chevy Blazer, looking like OJ out there. And literally drop them off and pick up checks. And I mean, that's one way that I got cool with the stores, you know, because back in the day you had to be good with the stores. Like you had to be able to press up your CDs, take them to the stores. It's called consignment. So hopefully it sells. We didn't have Apple Music or Spotify. Now it blows my mind. You can pay $8.99 a month and you literally have everything. You have everything. DJs a couple years ago, they said, "Man, I got Tidal. Just tell me what track you want me to play. And I'll pull it on Tidal."
Yeah, right while I'm at a party.
Like it's crazy. Like this world right now is so great because I had to work so hard in order to break artists. Now we used to have to take poster boards, and House will tell you, climb up, do death-defying acts to get these poster boards up everywhere in the city to let people know that the album was coming out. It was so crazy. Now, I could literally buy an Instagram ad. I could buy an Instagram ad and catch 100,000 people. But a YouTube ad.
But you know, it's a good point though about what you telling me right now though, and I think it's something that's missing today. And so I want you to touch on that right now. As you were going around and you had to make all these stops, though, you were building relationships.
Building relationships that I still have today. You know, you got to go out there and touch the people. It's like running for president. You know, you got to kiss and hug them babies, shake them hands. You got to do everything you got to do. You know, because you want to set yourself apart from the next artist. Like, if I go to the hottest DJ in the market and I introduce myself to him, he's more likely to play my record. You know, if I go to the club and I go purchase a bottle of Hennessy or Cristal or whatever I get at the moment, you know, and I give a bottle to the DJ, he's gonna remember that. So when it's time that I want a 300 record played, or if whatever label I'm working with at the time, I need that record played, I can call on that DJ. You know, when you're an artist and you're just at the house all day and you don't know these people, you know, and the record ain't really booming like that, why would they go out and find me? Why would they? But they gonna find me because I'm coming to the club, I'm spending money with them, I'm helping them out. You know, that's what this business, I've learned that this business is all about passing check. Passing check and being a real person.
Now,
you know?
As you came up in the business, that was definitely a thing, right? So when we're and I'm not saying that it's not a thing now, but I do want you to touch on how you did it then, as opposed to you're still working a lot of these great projects now, right? And so if I'm a new artist or I'm a younger cat that's thinking about getting in this business, does your model still work, or does some of your models still work? You know what I'm saying? Like which part of that do you still use even now? Because now a kid will look at you and they be like, man, I got this, man. I got this. I don't need your services. I don't need your help, man. I could just put my record on the gram. I could buy that same ad you could buy. So which part of
this is true? But when you've been doing it for so long, you know how to do it. You know what keywords to use. You know it. You know you go through somebody like me to save you some headaches. You know, because you can keep bumping your head all you want. And if you keep bumping your head too long, guess what? Your single done went cold. You know, when you could have just came to me and I'd have told you, do on what to do. And we could have did it and we could have all been successful. You know? That's the key to this. And I'm not saying I have a secret button. Right. You know, I just have a method of how I work and how I get down. You dig what I'm saying? It's not one of those situations. It doesn't work for everybody, but I promise you, if you mess with seasoned promoters like myself, seasoned DJs, seasoned everybody, you need to listen to them, you know? You need to listen, which is hard for a lot of people to do these days. But listen, take my ideas, work with somebody like me, and put your twist on it, you know? I go on YouTube all the time and look up recipes. I just started cooking like a couple years ago, right? Right. COVID. You know, we're in the house. Right. We're in the house. I started cooking. I might look at 8 different recipes. And I put them all together. And I put my twist on it, which is usually love. I usually just make it with love. Right. And now I have a delicious meal. So that's the key. I'm going to make a delicious meal.
Some of the people we've talked to in this space, right? A lot of times we found ourselves, you know, because like I said, you know, one of the things that Ben and I pride ourselves on moving around is we're finding ourselves in these spots that they're attached to corporate America per se. You've managed to create something that is heavily attached to corporate America while also remaining an entrepreneur. How have you been able to mesh those two spaces? Because you know, one of the things about hip hop is, you know, the word being preached around is independence. We don't always look up what the word means or what the conversation actually is. We just catch that first line, independence. You've managed to keep your independence, be very relevant in this game for a long period of time, and still do business with a lot of people in the corporate space. You know, how have you been able to do that?
You know, the person that put me in the game was an entrepreneur. So when you get taught by somebody, which is another thing people don't understand, in order to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower, you know? So if you got some great direction about you, you're gonna do what you wanna do. and how you want to do it. You know?
Oh.
So the whole thing about it is, and there's nothing wrong with having a job, by the way. Nothing wrong with having a job. But I just want to do it my way. And my way was, okay, if I don't want to mess with this account, if this account meaning like a record label, right? Because I work with a lot of independents. But if I don't want to mess with you guys, I don't want to mess with you guys. I want to say bye, and I want to go do my own thing and keep working with different people. And you know, because certain people, they might have a message that they want to get out that I don't really believe in.
Right.
You know, and that's no knock against you. Like, do what you want to do, but I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know, and that's how I was able to maneuver. And people, in my opinion, would love to hire a contractor rather than get an employee anyway. Because employee, you got to do all kinds of taxes, benefits. I can slip and fall right now, and you know you got to pay for that.
Right.
You know, so it's different. And all my employees, they're not really my employees. They're just contractors. You know, I got a graphics guy on contract. I got a and when I mean contract, I mean retainers. You know, my lawyer, he don't work for me.
Right.
But I got him on retainer. You know,
when you need him, he's ready.
Everybody like that. You know, I'm starting to branch out, working. You know, I'm in California, so I'm working with a lot of marijuana brands and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot of marketing for them.
Right.
You know, this is a corporate marijuana is like it's a new territory for me, so it's a new challenge, and I love new challenges. But you know, every rapper smokes weed, so why wouldn't I intertwine both? You know, it's one of those situations. Did I answer the questions? I felt like I jumped a little bit.
No,
everywhere,
you.
But I kind of tested a little bit.
No, because I'm gonna follow you to take, because I learn every time I do these things. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the things that I picked up on, which I knew when I came in, if I want to get it out. Being an entrepreneur, you've played many different roles, right? What are some of the titles that you've taken on in your roles with? I got record promoter.
Okay, record promoter for sure. West Coast Radio Regional, which is
and that is what does that entail?
That means you handle the West Coast for a certain label,
right? Whatever
label that you work for at the time. You know, I've been managers, I've been DJs. I'll be a security guard. Like you gotta realize if you're not willing to go above and beyond for these artists and these brands that you represent, then I mean you could basically just kiss your ass goodbye. Because it's one of those situations like everybody wants these jobs.
Right.
You know? Like I tell everybody, nobody wants to be Puffy at 90. Everybody wants to be Puffy at 96. 95.
And the difference in that was because...
The difference is because this guy is rich and powerful.
Okay. And in 91 though...
In 91 he wasn't so rich or no powerful. He was like interning. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's stepping stones to everything out here. You just have to put your mind to it, and you have to outwork the next man. You know? If you got 5 interns in a row, right? All you gotta do is outwork these 4 and you got the job. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And it irks me to death that people don't want to work. People don't want to work. You try to get the average person today to work in the music business. They're gonna explain to you why they need to be the CEO.
Like right off the top.
Right top. You're like, you haven't sold a record yet. Do you know any of the playlist people at Spotify? Do you know any of the playlist people at Apple?
I would venture to say they might not even know what a playlist person was.
They might not. You know, it's these steps you take in this business in order to get further. If you want to do music, you know, I don't really know about these other jobs and stuff like that, so I'd be an idiot to speak on them. But in this music game, you have to work. There's no elevator to the top. You gotta take the stairs, or you gotta climb the side of the building.
Right.
You gotta figure it out. And you could ask House. He's seen it a million times. You guys just told me his intern is now the man over at Google.
Moving around in space.
You know?
Heavy.
And I guarantee you, he outworked the next man. You know, it's crazy, man. When I started out in this game, shit, you might tell your boss, man, look, I gotta get some sleep. I'd be like, sleep on the plane. Sleep on the plane. You know? I mean, it's just one of those situations, like, coming from an Interscope, when you got, like, Kevin Black. You know? When you got legends like Kevin Black, or you got legends like, just all these other executives, you know, to just, sometimes you gotta be quiet, notice your surroundings, and literally just follow. You know, let me ask this. Have you seen that? Have you seen these new DJs and everybody that just don't want to work?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, it's crazy.
And I don't even mean that in a bad way. I'm just not gonna, because you're making very valid points, and which is everything you're saying is so on point. I do want to take a twist though, because you're in a space right now that I want to explore that I have not even remotely gotten a chance to explore on this platform, and I think it's a super big deal to me. Why I want to go here, because it's heavily in the space if you talk about the hip hop culture, but it's also seems like we've gotten in trouble a lot more for it, and other people are eating off of it now. And you seem to be finding your way, sir, into a way of making it business, and that's the cannabis space. Hold now. I want to explore that with you, because I don't smoke, but I'm in a lot of parties with college kids, and everybody got something to offer me. And I mean all different nationalities, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know much about the cannabis space. You told me that, you know, outside of knowing what we know, smoking and that sort of thing. When you decided to make that shift, to find your way into that space, what was the very first step that you had to make? Because knowing what I know, it wasn't long ago that it was a crime. And I know people to this day right now that are locked up still for that, and I know other people out here getting money a legal way. So you decided, because I know in this space that we in, you've seen it all. I mean, it's a studio. You work around some heavy people, and ain't one of them probably walked in here, especially on the West Coast, and not knowing about the cannabis space, right? So when you say, sir, you know what? I want to explore the cannabis space. What was your first step of saying, you know, because if I'm a kid and I'm thinking, how can I get into that?
First step was, with me, I actually have a passion for it. Okay. You know, not that I really entertain it that much on a recreational basis, but it's just so one of the things that I if I had a time machine and go back, I would have went more to the tech side of this. You know, probably been running a playlist, probably been doing something with the tech, like Google's down the street.
Right.
You know?
And we're talking the music space.
And so, yeah. Okay. So, you know, I just didn't want to miss the boat. You know, we got these great brands out here. Jay-Z just bought a brand, Khalifa, you know. It's just marketing, you know? It's just putting in the work, knowing the people. Just like how I used to drive up Highway 5 up and down the coast and drop these records I used to print off to all these stores. It's the same way the weed goes, you know? You go in there, you get to meet people, you get to know the lay of the land. You know, like if I know what's good in a dispensary in Fresno, or if I know what's good in dispensaries in Oakland, you know, that's my own research that I can come back to and tell my client, hey, this is what we should do. This is gonna increase sales. This is gonna go up like this. We need this. We need to add this artist to do this campaign. You know? That is the first step. And I'm still in the first steps of actually going and doing that.
Right, and in the cannabis space, where are you working at mostly? Are you working in the, or you may be in all of it, the ownership side, the growth side, or just the marketing of the brand? Or
just marketing, you know. I kill my orchid.
Okay.
And they say you can't even kill those things, you know.
Right.
So I kill my orchids. So I'm not gonna sit up there and grow or nothing like that. But I know how to distinguish a good company from a bad company. You know, so I know where I should be going, who I should be working with, who I should not be working with. You know, so I'm gonna stick to my lane. I'm gonna make sure whoever I do partner with, they're good in their lanes as well. You know, and we all hold each other accountable.
So you've basically taken your love and understanding and expertise of grassroots and the whole marketing spectrum, and you pick that up and you're taking that model over to the cannabis space.
Yeah, I'm just sprinkling it, you know, because I've worked, you know, with a million movie companies, with everybody on doing everything, because you know this is urban marketing. This is us touching the people. This is what we do, you know. Just taking that, and what's more urban than we? What's more urban than the cannabis field, you know?
Right. So you've been able to. So what have you been able to marketing side? Like you and I both have been involved in some campaigns, right? What's a campaign that you have worked with? Like you say, you worked with it on a record, and you just was like immediately, this fits the cannabis space.
I mean, just a million artists that I work with, you know, a million branding deals. You know, everybody's coming with something. Everybody's coming with bigger cash flow. You know, whether it's T Grizzly, whether it's who else? Capolo. He's a big artist out here in the Bay.
Right.
You know, he just merged with a company called Head Stash. You know, just like LB and the Runts guys. You heard of Runts?
No, I'm learning as I go.
One of the biggest weed companies there is on the streets. You know, they love it. You know, I look at what Cookies did with Gelato with Burner and everybody like that. You know, it's a different field to be in. You know, I'm still playing the music though. Still definitely in that lane for sure. But you know, just merging a little bit. Merging a little bit, and who knows? I might get back on the tech side too. I might not. The vote might have not left.
I don't think it's left. Every day it's an evolving. It seems to be an evolving thing.
But really, if you're in music, you're in tech.
You have to be nowadays, right?
You have to be in tech because music is tech right now. Like you said before, $8.99. You got everything.
Everything.
It's scary. It's scary. We almost got to fix that. Almost got to fix it.
Or definitely learn how it works so that we can make sure that we're in the right space.
Definitely, but we got to make sure these artists are getting paid what they're supposed to get paid. Like I said, I played the CEO role, the manager role. I played every role in this music business. A lot of different hats. You know, I've been a product manager, I've been a booking manager, I've been a tour manager. I done did a little bit of everything. You know, it's literally a giant rap hustle.
Yeah, it's an ever evolving ecosystem too.
Definitely. And I need to start getting into the fashion, because the fashion is here.
Well, it don't seem like a lot moves out here without the mayor anyway. Like it seems like a lot of things just come across your desk, whether you decide to work with them or not.
We're not gonna say mayor. We're not gonna say mayor.
Well, it
seasoned vet.
As a seasoned vet, we were talking influencer earlier, right? And in this conversation with you, we're talking product placement, that sort of thing. When I'm talking to these kids out here, and it's funny because we've been in schools and stuff, and we'll talk to people, and I'm venturing to say 65-75% of kids I'm meeting are telling me either they want to be an influencer or they want to start a YouTube channel, something that's just in that space, right? So as a person who puts products together, has dealt with influencers, or you know, just all this product placement and that sort of thing. If I'm a kid thinking that I could be an influencer, right? What would you tell me some of the things that I need to work on? Because you're a person who places product, right? And we were talking about these big numbers as opposed to say you got micro influencers, and you know, there's different levels, right? 1 to 10,000, right? That could really have all their friends moving, you know, that's really rocking with them at their school. What would you give advice to someone? Or does the influencer thing even matter to a dude like you when you're looking to place product?
The influencer thing is so important right now. And it's been important forever, especially in music. If Eminem didn't have Dr. Dre, to tell everybody, okay, this is my artist. This is gonna be big. Nobody would believe in him. I don't think nobody ever believed in him before. I mean, I watched the podcast and Fat Joe said he gave him his CD like 5 different times. And he been could have signed him, but he never did. But with his influence, he did. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So, if a kid comes up to me today and says he wants to be an influencer, I'm gonna give him all the support there is. You know? I'm gonna tell him, okay, start your YouTube page. Start your TikTok. Do everything you gotta do. I'm gonna be asking him for advice. Okay, what do you see that the game is missing? How do you think that you could help us? How can I get you a check? Get yourself popping. I'll actually give you a couple $100, $1,000. We do influencer campaigns all the time. You know, I've given as little as $300 to people to make a dance. Given as much as $3,000 to have a girl do an Instagram post. You know? So, I've seen every part of it. So I would definitely ask the kids, what do you bring to the table? Because I'm going to love to give you my money. I'm going to love to.
Right.
I'm a big fan of passing around the budget. I'm going to give you a piece, you a piece, you a piece, you a piece, you a piece. That's how this game goes.
But what if that kid don't know what they bring to the table?
Figure it out. It's like throwing darts at a board, you know? Eventually you're gonna hit.
Right.
You know, that's been the record label's motto forever. They'll sign 20 artists.
Man, don't tell people how they do it in there at the office with everybody They got on a blindfold and they just
I got to.
That record stuck, that's the one we're gonna promote.
We don't measure success by failure. We measure success by success. Like if I go out and sign 20 artists right now, but I got a Jack Harlow. You know, you gonna judge me off the other 19 that didn't make it? No,
hey, hold on.
Gonna judge me off
Ben,
that.
is it me or have we been getting quotes all day? We about to make us a t-shirt line, brother. I think you about to make the t-shirt line.
We could be on the coffee table. We could have the quotes right there.
We can't tell everybody what we gonna do. But I think look, you know how they used to have hip hop quotables? Yeah. We about to start this thing called hip hop study hall quotables. I think you just cause like people don't even say it, but honestly, like seriously, I think people need to hear that again. We don't measure success by failures. We measure success by success. And I've been in this game a long time, and I haven't exactly heard it put like that. And then when you follow it up with the example of, we ain't even talking about what Drama them might have done wrong, because they got Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow.
And shouts out to Drama, that's my dude. Shouts out to them over at Generation Next. It wasn't a slight. Don't try to take my clip and run with something. But you know how they do. But that's really a dope way to put it. And I guess if I'm a kid watching this, that's one of the biggest takeaways they should get as they're trying to, break in. Because everybody be like, I ain't getting it right. I ain't got enough. I mean kids that's taking down pictures, dude, because they don't get enough likes. I ain't never heard of that in my life. But like you said, the more you talk to them, this generation, I ain't mad at them.
I mean, they might have found a way, They might be doing something that we need to do. I like hiring kids because, when I'm not gonna say kids, I mean I like hiring a lot of youth around me because I'm 40 now.
Right.
So I might not pick up what they already know. In different spaces, like a TikTok. I don't even have TikTok.
Right.
I don't have TikTok, but I know how to hire somebody.
Don't bring that up a lot in front of me. We have a TikTok issue on this team. That's for another show, but we're maybe the first team with a TikTok issue. But I'll explain that to you when we're off camera.
But like, you take somebody like Michael Jordan. We consider Michael Jordan the best basketball player ever, right? And I'm not sure how many game-winning shots he missed, but I guarantee you he made about 10% of the shots that he took. And we measure him by that. Like, I look at the clip where he pushed Byron Russell.
Man, don't start that. Look, man,
made the shot.
Man, what are we doing?
I watch that clip at least a couple times a year, Just because it was such a thing of beauty. You dig what I'm saying? But we judge him on the game winners that he made like that.
When a mayor invites you to his city, you take everything that comes with it. You appreciate, you respect. I appreciate the love, man. But I'm not gonna get into the Jordan Byron Look, man, you gotta understand. We can get sidebar here, and I want to stay focused on what we're doing, man. No, seriously, man.
Knicks fan?
It's not even that I'm a Knicks. Honestly, you know what's really crazy is I'm a Jordan fan, and stop throwing me off, man.
But Knicks fan?
No, I ain't. No, I'm from New York, and I have never. Now you're making me say that on camera. I've never been a Knicks fan. Stop it, man. Like
you know, Knicks fans are like Cowboys fans. They always tell me that they're gonna win the championship that year.
Look, man, let me tell you something. Don't start the Cowboys fan. Don't get this room wrong. We gotta stay focused. Hey, look, man, seriously, I appreciate you more than the words I'm even able to say for taking this time. And I think that your story is special because I don't think enough people understand, like, you know, as we tell these stories in this hip hop ecosystem, right? You're dealing with corporate every day. And in the process, you had to do a lot of learning in order to deal with these major companies. And we're not talking about, no disrespect, we're not talking about just mom and pop, because you've dealt with them all the way up to some of the biggest and are still doing it. And you're migrating in different spaces. If there was 2 pieces of advice that you would give anyone thinking about doing what you do, because they see you drive a nice car, you know, they see you be able to, you know, you walk to the door, they don't hold them. They move the line because the mayor is here now. That's what I'm gonna call you, the mayor. And I don't even mean that disrespectfully. You know, you built these relationships. That comes with the territory, right? So if I'm watching, well, there could be a few, but I like to kind of narrow the thought down. Ben tells me, and this is what I've learned. Social media move quick, so we gotta be able to get them in. Right. But no, the reason I want that is because a lot of people in this space, or a lot of, like I said, the younger people, they don't see the work because that's not what's shown. You know? So if they were listening to you and you know, 2 thoughts that you summed up about what it's taken for you to get this far.
Be 15 minutes early. Whatever time you set, be 15 minutes early. I don't care what you gotta do. To do that builds a lot of character. And that'll get you through the door of a lot of places when they know that you can handle your business and you can be on time. In this game, timing is almost everything. You know, so that's be my first bit of advice. Second bit of advice for the younger generation, shut up. Listen. Shut up, listen. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't make these mistakes. Because you will be in that same boardroom with the same type of situation as that person that you're learning from is at the moment. You know? Those are my 2 main things. You know? My third thing is really be willing to learn. You know? Go back to the second one. Just shut up. You know? Just shut up and just learn. Because this is a lot of game to soak in. It's a lot.
It's moving fast. It's moving fast.
And if you're not ready for this, you're gonna mess around and this ain't no regular job.
Right.
You know, this music industry, it's like this. So if you're looking for a regular job, you go to a regular company, you go work at Amazon. You be stacking boxes all day. You be good at it.
But even they're in this business.
Definitely.
Right.
But what I'm saying is this music business goes by fast and it goes by quick. And we rely on people that we can rely on. You know, because how are you gonna make me look better? Or are you gonna set me back? Because I need a team that's gonna make me better. That's gonna know more than me and that's gonna make me better.
Look, man.
You feel me?
How can they find you on the gram? Because I don't think your game can't just. I don't even know if I got enough time to get all the game that you've gotten given out over the years, or grown and learned and passed on and still rocking with today. So where can I find you? On
Everything is at M1Promo. M1 Promo. My email. If y'all got some questions for me, I love answering people's questions because I do feel like I should be teaching the youth on what to do. Like, I can't break down everything for every situation, but I will answer email back. So, you know, it's m1promo@gmail.com. Like, I have no problem talking to people and giving them advice, life advice. Not, we're in the music business, but we're in the people business as well.
Right.
And that's with all the mental health stuff going on today and everything like that, sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. I might not be no real therapist, and I can't give you 30 minutes, but I can give you 3 sentences on an email for sure.
Look, we got more coming with this dude. This hip hop study hall, man. Like, whew.